Well, thank you, ladies, for joining me here tonight for the Cup of Gratitude Masterclass. I had a guest, we hadn't picked the date, and it fell through, and I said, oh, perfect timing, make a little shift, and I'm going to do a masterclass. No interviews, just us having a conversation, which is what I love about Cup of Gratitude, right? It is all about conversation. So to begin the day, because I know, we all kind of come to this call at 7 o'clock, coming from different places, navigating kids. That was weird. Did anybody else have that loud buzz?
Yeah, I heard that.
It went silent.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know what that was, but that totally threw me off. Good thing I hadn't started. So just knowing that we all kind of come here from potentially chaotic days, navigating lots of things or lots of things even on our mind. We're going to kind of start with 3 centering breaths. And what I want you to do is to count to 5 as you breathe in. Hold the breath for a minute, not a minute. Count to 5 and then exhale. And do that 3 times, the breathing in, the breathing out. And I'm going to play music while we breathe. So if you guys want to start. Can you hear the music?
a little bit.
Had a minute to center. Mama, I think that there's a lot of background noise. Are you using your phone or your computer?
Nope.
All right.
I have the TV on mute, but I'll shut it off.
If it's on mute, it's not what I'm hearing. All right.
No
Well,
noise coming from that, but it's
okay.
on.
It's you. I
Really?
know what it is.
Noise coming
Coming from you. I might mute you then. And then you'll just have to unmute to talk. Because I'm going to do a guided meditation and I don't want the noise. All right.
Okay. Okay.
I'll mute you and then you can unmute when we talk.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, ladies. Invite you. We're going to take a meditation, a quiet guided meditation. I'm going to kind of talk you through this. I invite you guys to kind of put your hands on your heart and breathe in. I'm going to try to play music. I don't know if it's going to work to do both. Play it a little bit. I invite you to put your hands on your heart and to breathe in gratitude for this day. Imagining the many blessings that came to you over the course of the day. Did it start with just opening your eyes and welcoming in a new day? Holding your warm cup of coffee, cup of tea, thinking about the day. Maybe it is time spent with family, time spent with friends, work. Consider the many blessings that you experienced in this day. Let's take a moment to breathe in gratitude for our bodies, for the many ways that our body supports us as we walk and we talk and we breathe and we move through the day. Sometimes that movement can be challenging and we need supports. But nonetheless, it is our body that carries us through the day. It is our body that allows us to pat the dog, to feel the soft, cozy covers, to eat, to drink, and to do so many things. Let's breathe in gratitude for our mind, for the ability to think and to love, to hold space for others. I'll give you another little bit of time to contemplate those pieces of gratitude that I didn't bring up, but that you want to recognize. I invite you to wrap up your meditation, opening your eyes as you feel ready. Ooh. Even when I talk through it, it feels good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, anyways. So as I'm always looking to kind of talk about how people experience things, has anybody ever done a kind of gratitude meditation in some form like that? And Linda, you're muted again. So I just didn't know if people had thoughts on kind of what that felt like for them, and if that felt centering or kind of helped them tap into more awareness of gratitude for things that they wouldn't necessarily have considered. Anyone have any? Can unmute if you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always like when, you breathe and you just get really centered around your breathing, then it makes you feel centered around other things. And then when you give the prompt of gratitude, then that's just lovely. It allows you to go into that space unadulterated for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I remember taking yoga classes, and at the end we would do breathing. so I didn't even think about that when you had said, you know, we had done this before. So it wasn't so much with gratitude, but yet at the end of the yoga class and, you know, everyone's around you, dimly lit, she had the music and it was the breathing. And it's the same thing that Vicky said. Sometimes I feel like I'm scattered. And when I do that, I come back together. So and it's a good feeling, you know, not that I don't feel whole, but when I do that and when I stop and focus on that, it's, yeah, it's great.
Right. And I think, right, the breathing activity itself is very centering and very quieting. But I think that when you add kind of that gratitude component to it, it has a kind of a whole other layer of centering. And I think that maybe when you combine the two, it's much easier to kind of feel that gratitude, bubbliness of it. So
Right. Well, it does. Right. It enhances it when you add the quality of gratitude. So yeah.
so so this is certainly one of those gratitude practices that people can incorporate into their daily lives. And it can be as simple as just focusing on the breath and kind of naming those things that you're grateful for. It's one of those things that you could do kind of sporadically through the day, kind of identifying those things that you're grateful for. Because, right, we get up in the morning, safe traveling, kind of all kinds of different things that we don't want to take. So, um, so does anybody have a favorite gratitude practice? Because that's what I like. Yes, go ahead. Can you unmute, Linda? Ma, I don't know. You're still muted. You're still muted. No, you're muted. You're muted. Can you type into the chat box? Do you know how to do that? What if you go out and come back in? Will that work? I can't hear you.
No. Does she have, Linda, do you have a little microphone in the lower corner of your screen?
All right. We can't understand. We can't hear you.
No.
Okay. Well, that's a bummer. How about you go out, leave, and come back in and see if that works.
I don't lip read.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh,
Anyways.
okay. She'll come back.
I wanted to hear. So
Yeah.
while she's coming back in, does anybody else have a favorite gratitude practice that they would like to share? Because I think everybody has such a different gratitude practices. And I think what I've loved over the course of the year plus of doing Cup of Gratitude is that I've heard of so many neat and unique gratitude practices. And so, and I've got a neat one up my sleeve here, guys, but I'm curious, does anybody have any particular favorite gratitude practices?
I don't know that mine's neat or unique.
Doesn't need to be.
Mine is just primarily at night when I go to bed. I get centered. I put my hands on my heart and I talk to God. And I give thanks for my day. And I literally go through my day. And I say, I'm so thankful for this and having a day, and the ways in which you touched my life and gave me such great messengers. And it helps to put me asleep.
Mhm.
So falling asleep to gratitude, I don't have nightmares, and I just fall asleep with this
It's
because
really,
when I do a gratitude practice, I almost always smile. Funny enough, when I go through my day, I'm just sitting there smiling with my eyes closed.
Yeah,
So yeah, so I guess that's mine.
that's,
yeah.
well, and mine, I think some people know, and mine is my morning journaling. So that for me is often a reflection on the day before, where I just kind of do my journaling about what I'm grateful for the day before. That's part of it. And then I do another piece for that in a little bit. So, and who knows where Linda is. Anyways,
Oh, yeah.
if she gets back
Oh,
in.
she's back, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, well, we'll come back to her. The challenges of technology, but the joys of technology are that we are all in a different space and are able to come together. And so that just has been very cool. And my guest is actually the guest that I was supposed to have is from Hawaii, and that's why we were having so many challenges between work schedules and all of those pieces. So that was so the
Oh, that
joys
is,
of technology and the challenges of technology. We'll take it. So Linda, I can see that you're here. Your video's not on. Are you still there?
Oh, let me just, it says start video down here.
Okay, so it's probably just
Oh,
starting
good.
up, but we can hear you. Did you have a favorite gratitude practice? I think that
Yeah,
that's
that
what
was,
you, yeah.
I was gonna say, but journaling.
What were you gonna say?
I can you hear me?
Yep, we can. There's static off and on. That's
It
been,
was, because I'm sitting still. By journaling,
yeah,
I do 3 gratitude practices or statements each day, well, when I journal.
but when you journal, yep, yep.
So I think that helps a lot. It's just,
Yeah, well, in lots of conversations I've had with people around gratitude, it really is a mindset thing, and so that's one of Michelle and I's favorite conversations with our caregivers connection, as we kind of talk gratitude and mindset, and that it's really is kind of that how you look at things. You can look at things as kind of
negative or positive.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And so doing the gratitude really helps
Yeah.
to
Right.
make it a positive on it. Your computer on your lap,
Yeah.
can you put it on a table or a chair?
Yeah.
That might eliminate the static.
Probably when I move or whatever.
Yeah,
Hmm, funny.
Is that a difference?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I haven't, so people who've done programs with me have done this, I think. And one of my favorite activities that I stumbled across at a women's conference with Natalie Hogan, Happier. Anyways, I can't, it was a long time ago. So you guys are all on your computers, right? It
Yeah.
looks like everybody's on a computer.
Mhm.
So I know people probably put their phones to the side so they didn't get disrupted.
Mhm.
So we can all pull out our phones and send a message of gratitude to a friend, a family member doesn't have to be anything big and fancy, just whoever comes to your mind, send them a note and let them know how much you appreciate them. Let them know why you appreciate them. Just send them a note, spontaneous, quick little note. And I'm going to do it too. Okay. Put my phone out of use so that if I get a text message back, I won't get disrupted. Oh, how was that for folks?
Good. One more.
Okay, I can
Just
give you guys
one, just,
another
I'm
minute.
almost there. Okay, there.
That's okay,
and
Patty.
send.
Take
There
your
we-
time, Patty. Take your time.
There we go. Okay. All right. I sent my text.
Send your
gratitude.
text. And so, you know, this was one of those activities that when I first kind of stumbled upon it, I remember sending the text. I remember who I sent the text to. And I remember how giddy I felt sending a text to a friend to let them know how much I appreciated them. And so it was just kind of one of those, kind of a new idea. Like if somebody pops into your mind, and actually this has been kind of a conversation I've had off and on over the past couple weeks with different people. Like people pop into your mind, and do you say, oh hey, just thinking of you, and how sometimes that little note of appreciation, of thinking of you, is just what that person needed to kind of lift their spirits. And then also kind of the way that it can create that connection. Like there's a beauty to writing notes, right? I love like handwritten notes, and there's something wonderful about those handwritten notes because I keep them in my drawer, right? Like I get notes and they go right in my desk.
Yeah.
But the beauty with a text message is that it may the kind of instant gratification of it. It makes for that instant connection, and then it's very easy for somebody to kind of text you back. And so that's been kind of one of those fun little things that I pull out every once in a while, and I think it's a great way of letting people know how much you appreciate them, why you appreciate them, things along those lines. So did anybody struggle with this activity? Like, oh, who do I text? Do I send this one, this one, this one? Or, oh, I can't do that one. Did anybody find some resistance with it?
No, it was just, who to send it to
Yeah, yeah.
was I guess the most challenging, but she came to mind and I said, oh, I'll send it to her. So
Yeah, yep, yep. Oh, yes. So a fun little activity. So then, down the road, as people pop into your mind. What, Linda?
Got a comment back already.
Yeah, right.
oh,
That's why
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it says, sending you a note of gratitude for the tasty goodies you sent me in Lisa's gratitude class on Zoom.
yeah.
And she
Yeah.
sent me a thumbs up.
Oh,
But then David just said you should test for COVID.
what?
Okay. So anyways, so I think that down the road, like kind of thinking of this activity as a really easy way of expressing gratitude and connecting with others, it could be one of those little things you kind of keep in your back pocket. So when you're sitting waiting for your oil change, rather than scrolling through social media, you can send a quick text to a friend, to a family member, or whoever. So anyways, so that was one fun little trick. We have another activity that I wanted to do that is more about setting intentions. And so do you guys all have paper and pencil, or pen, I should say? If you don't, I'll give you a minute to get a piece of paper. And I should have said to get it from you.
Yep.
So, so I think as people are looking, I can kind of talk about it. So a relatively new practice of mine, right? I call it, so gratitude can be a ritual, right? It can be a habit, right? I do mine in the morning. Vicki does hers at nighttime. There's different kind of gratitude practices that can kind of happen at certain, right? Grace, say grace before a meal. That is a ritual. That's a kind of a habit. Anyways, okay. So in expanding my gratitude practice, right? Because it is something that we practice. It's a habit, but the word practice, I just love it because it's something that you work on doing on a regular basis, or whatever works for you, finding different ways of doing things, of exploring other ways of expressing gratitude. So intentions, setting intentions has become one of my ways, part of my gratitude practice that I have really come to love. So it is about setting the intention for the day. So I do it kind of in different levels. So we're going to talk about it for setting an intention for the day, and then I'll talk about another piece. And so even though we're at the end of the day for all of us, we can kind of approach it as though it's a new day, just for practice. Anyways, so in setting an intention, so when I get up in the morning and I'm doing my journaling practice, I state it as it's happening, not like it's, how do I say this? Not that it's going to happen, but that it is happening. So I am grateful for this day. I am grateful for safe travels to and from work. I am grateful for the opportunity to serve at-risk kids and families. I'm grateful for the ways that I can support others through my coaching practices, whether it's my newsletters or a cup of gratitude, or, so it is kind of thinking about how you want the day to look and how you want the day to feel. So in that, I'm also, I am grateful for feeling centered, for feeling at peace, for experiencing joy. And so I kind of talk about how I want to feel, but I state it as though it is that way. So kind of that statement, I am grateful for feeling joy. I am grateful for feeling centered, rather than I am great, like not the future, not, it's stated as though it's happening now. Does that make sense to people? So I want you guys, I'll play music again. See if I can dare bring my phone. I'm really glad that I put my phone over there, because I have 4 text messages in response to that text message. Okay, so I'm going to go find my music again, and I'm going to give you, I'll give you 3 minutes. I think 3 minutes should work. So does anybody have a question about kind of setting the intention with gratitude? No? All right, maybe it'll come up after. Here we go. You can wrap up your writing. What was that like for folks? Was that hard, easy? Anybody have any? I know when I first started writing a gratitude as an intention, it felt weird, I think. But there were pieces of it. So this kind of for the day is a newer piece for me. So this probably didn't feel as weird as I'll share the other piece of setting intentions, because what it really allowed me to do was to kind of, it's deeper than just kind of finding a word and setting the intention for the day. It's really kind of centering myself and really kind of contemplating, what is my day ahead? What do I want it to feel like? How do I want to navigate that day? How do I want to engage with other people? How do I want to feel? Sometimes it's about what I want to get done. I am grateful that I'm able to get the yard work done, right? So, so it really varies every day what I write, depending on kind of what's on the agenda for the day, what my responsibilities are for the day. And then the fun part is kind of the next morning I go back and I look at that and I'm like, oh yeah, right. It's kind of setting an intention to have a good mindset, to be centered. And I think that it makes it easier that when you're kind of going through your day and things kind of can trip you up, you've kind of set the intention. So you're kind of got the universe conspiring with you to live in that way that you want to conduct it, in the way you want to feel. So I have also done the intention setting, kind of identifying 3 areas of where kind of what focusing 3 intentions that I'm grateful for. And so one of my favorite ones was several months before we went to Italy, which was, of course, supposed to be in 2019. No, 2020, got bumped to this year. But so truly before we left in May, I started setting an intention for a safe trip. I was grateful for safe travels, for safe housing, for lots of love and laughter, and no issues with the 5 of us, because one knows when you take all 5 of you, anything is possible. And the best thing was the vacation was like, we had no flight issues, no housing issues. We had weird things pop up here and there, but it was never an issue. It was easy. And I think of that as being kind of one of my, like, I set the intention and it all just flowed. And there's been really other examples, kind of family-wise or kind of household-wise, where like I kind of set that intention. That's kind of my energy. And it's like a daily piece. And then things change and I'm like, oh, I stopped writing that. Imagine that. Well, that's because it kind of got to where we wanted it, where I wanted it to be. And I moved on to other things. So that might be a fun gratitude practice to try from time to time. Um, so I want to honor 8 o'clock as kind of an ending time. So do people have questions or comments on that activity or any other kinds of thoughts that have popped up for you? No.
No. I think what
Lisa,
I
I love
enjoy.
setting intentions. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Michelle.
I just wanted to tell you, I love setting intentions. And when I've traveled or gone places, they have little postcards. I'll pick up a postcard and I'll write an intention and I'll mail it to myself so that I get it in the mail. And then I get to be reunited with my intention. And it's so exciting. It's so much fun. I did that on my retreat. We went and I actually just got a postcard not too long ago for my retreat about my intentions that I set. So.
Oh, isn't that fun? What a
That is a great thing.
that is awesome. Right. A great reminder
So
of
cool.
kind of very cool. Very cool.
Wow.
Patty,
Nice.
what were you going to say?
Oh, what works really well for me, because I'm sort of a, that kind of learner that, I see it and then do it. So I think when I write, that's going to be my visual, almost an affirmation to me that I put it in words, put it on paper, and then like going, when we say what another practice is, I mean, even if I'm walking and I'll go, I am so grateful for the weather for today. I am so grateful that I'm walking. I'm, and just so it's self kind of auditory when I hear it.
Yeah.
And then when I see it, because I'm kind of a visual learner, I guess. So that's where I get the most fulfillment and satisfaction and uplifting by seeing and hearing.
By seeing and hearing it, right? And I think you're right. We're kind of multi-sensory people. We all kind of are, right? I'm primarily a visual learner as well, but kind of that auditory piece, right? Kind of saying things out loud,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
also, because that when you do it that way, you're doing it in the moment, which I think is really powerful as well. Like when you're journaling, it's kind of pre-post, it's kind of not tied directly to the event. But when you do it in the moment, I think there's a real, you can feel it. You can, it just kind of impacts you in a different way as well. So, yeah. So, well, and I am, go ahead, Patty.
Self-satisfaction.
Mhm.
I look, affirmation, reaffirmation.
Well, and I'm thankful, ladies, for you guys all coming here today. I was excited to do this masterclass. It was something I had been thinking of, and I was like, okay, we're going to pivot. And I already have my November Cup of Gratitude date is set. It is November 16th, and it will be with Karen Kenny, who is a dynamic speaker who's
Minute, go back to the phone. Yeah, my calendar.
Oh,
I say go back to the phone.
Calendar. Yes. So
yep.
She is a dynamic speaker. She is a spiritual mentor. Sometimes she's got a potty mouth. But she will have you laughing, and I am so excited to be interviewing her. So it will be an entertaining evening, no doubt. So
that's Wednesday, sure. November 16th.
Wednesday, November. I was listening to a podcast walking the beach one day, and I went, oh, Karen, that was so good. I texted her, I said, Karen, and she's like, yeah, sure, we're on. so anyways, very excited to have her join us. She's Had quite a story as well. So
Yes. Did she ever
Lisa,
write
do you
her
have
book
something?
that she wanted to?
still
Ooh.
on it.
She's still on it? Okay.
Yep, Patty.
I have Sunday, November 6th. Are you doing a program Sunday,
I
November
am
6th?
Sunday, November 6th. It is the balancing act.
Yes, that's it.
Bunking
Yeah.
the myth of life balance. Yes.
Balancing. Good.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, looking forward to that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
all right,
Terrific.
I'm going to pause this, stop this.